Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Capes, Cows, and Close Calls. My name is Nick. With me always is my co-host, Sean, the Irishman King.
What's up, everybody?
Sean, I emphasized another that time because we are doing back-to-back episodes.
Back-to-back
Figured
episodes.
I might as well let the people know because we're in the exact same clothes.
I thought should we have brought a change of clothes or maybe
thought-
switch seats or something like to do so it seemed different.
Yeah, so it seemed different. I thought about that, and to be honest, I think in my head I was going to pack just like an extra shirt, and I just forgot to do it.
You could have borrowed a shirt.
Yeah, we're not the same
We could
size,
stop
Sean.
now. I got some different size shirts.
Why do you have different size shirts?
I don't know. You know how you acquire things through the years?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
I'm sure I could find something that would work.
That's fine. We're all good, man. It is what it is. You know what I mean? There's tons of people who record multiple episodes and shit in one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, whatever.
Is this the first time we've done it?
Yes. So I'm curious to see how this goes.
I feel like we've done it before.
No,
I kind
not
of
2 episodes.
vaguely remember doing it in the beginning and feeling like it is an exhausting thing to do.
That's probably why we don't do it.
It's why it is. You got to dig deep.
You do have to
really
dig deep
want
for that
it.
second one, yeah. Because you got to try to come up with new stuff.
Yeah.
And all this other. But we're here, man.
Not continue the previous conversation at all.
That's probably the hardest part.
Right.
Because it's not like, oh, we talked about this last week. It's like we talked
about
a
this
few
minutes ago. Guys, thanks for coming to another episode.
Yep.
Please interact with this episode any way that you can. Like, subscribe, comment, give us a review. Let us know what you think of this episode. Hit the link tree. Yeah.
All links down there.
All
Yeah.
the links are in the tree.
True. Go check those out. Go check those out on other platforms. For sure. How you feeling, Sean?
Good, man.
As
Feeling
if
good.
we weren't just here.
I know.
We could have just wrote it out and pretended like we're not doing this. That we didn't just record an episode a few minutes ago.
I thought we also could have made one really long episode and released it as part 1 and part 2 of the same episode.
Could have done that, I guess. Yeah. That seems more exhausting, though, for me.
You thought the little break in between
I think it helps.
got you a little?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, give me a moment to forget about everything we just talked about so I don't keep referring to it. Because if we did it that way, we would have inevitably done that. You know what I mean? Like, we
Yeah.
would have just been, like, referring to the earlier conversations
But it's
as
fine
if they're not split into two.
because it's part
episodes.
1 and part 2.
But then also, we needed this.
If it was a TV show, it would have happened.
That's true. We needed another intro. You know what I mean? Like, we had to do the whole thing again.
That would have been a big deal.
We have to do this fresh banter. Like, we haven't been sitting here for 3 hours already.
You just wouldn't get the banter. It's like when you watch a TV show and they give you part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, but who likes that, though? Do you like a part 1 and part 2 episode? Wouldn't you rather them just put it all in one part?
Yes.
Because that annoys the
But
hell
that's
out
what
of
you
me.
get people to bring back. I gotta see the cliffhanger. It ended on a cliff. I gotta see what happens next.
Yeah, I guess, man. I guess. I don't know. Do you like cliffhangers? I feel like I don't like
No, they're frustrating.
Yeah.
I was telling you the books we've been consuming.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, all of them end in cliffhangers.
Like I said, luckily enough, I knew the cliffhanger of the first book, so I wasn't like, oh my God, this is crazy what's happening. I can't believe they did it this way. I already knew what was going to happen. I don't know the cliffhanger of the second book, so I guess
Yep, you can be like,
I'm in for a treat
yeah.
or not a treat, depending on how I take it.
I would say
guess.
probably not a treat,
You
but
know
okay.
what I mean? So, but yeah, man, I don't know. Funny enough, so here's what I got for you this time, right? I saw another video, another TikTok.
Okay.
Where this guy was basically like, and I feel like you're going to agree with this. This guy was basically like, if you don't feel like you can successfully pull off a heist with your friend, that's not really your friend. And I was like, bro, I agree. Because how many times have we fantasized about pulling off a goddamn heist, bro?
It's
We
the white
say all
collar,
the time.
man. It's the white collar
It
that
is.
we watched that
We
made us
say-
like, it's just like, I don't actually want to rob somebody, but the idea of being able to pull it off
We could
is
rob
very
a bank.
intriguing.
We could fucking rob a bank. Like, there's not a lot of people I'd be like, yeah, I would choose you to do a heist with, but you'd be at the top of the list, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I was putting a crew together, you're in it. You're first call.
I think we should do some
Sean was
lower
robbing a bank.
stake things, but we should do them.
Okay, here.
You know what I think that we should do that you and I think would do successfully?
Okay.
It's simple. It's easy. That scene in a white collar where they don't want anybody else to get in the elevator, and so one person's pretending to, like, they can't have people around or they're hyperventilating.
Yeah.
I think we could pull that off flawlessly.
Oh, 100%.
I think we could go to, like, the Sears Tower or some crazy skyscraper, ride up each floor, and successfully get nobody to hop on with us.
Yeah, I agree. I think we could.
Actually, we probably have to be going down, because that's where people are really.
Yeah.
Nobody's just going to go up. We can go all the way down and successfully, that would be like our quest.
Okay.
Get nobody on the elevator with us by just saying ridiculous things every time the door opens.
I agree. Do you think that we could con our way past the security without
Easily.
buying a ticket to get on that elevator?
You know what we got to do? It's easy. Carry a ladder. That's all you got to do to get into places. Grab a ladder, and then pretend like the person, if anybody does question you, like, like, pretend like they should know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, like, you grab the ladder. Hey, where you going? Yeah, conference room B is this way, right? I was told I got it over. Oh, well, it's not called B. What was it called? Give me, you know the one. Yeah, that one? Oh, yeah, perfect. It's over this way, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we would easily get in.
All right. Where do you feel like we hit our ceiling? Where do you feel like, I don't know. If
Neither of us know how to crack a safe. That is going to be a real problem.
Yeah. Okay, so you think...
So we couldn't rob a bank because we would be out here. It's probably not even this thing anymore, but we would be over here with, like, none of us have ever done it, but all of a sudden we got the...
You don't think we can figure out how to crack a safe?
No, I don't think I can.
No, I feel like I can figure out how
You
to
think
crack
you
a
could
safe.
figure out how to crack a safe?
Yes.
Like a legit bank safe.
I don't know if I could go that big. But if we were robbing, let's say, like, a safe in maybe like a millionaire's home or like office, I think we could do that. I don't know if I could crack a bank safe.
I don't think it's as easy as you think it is.
I'm not saying it's easy. What I'm saying
This is people's hobbies. You can get into this.
between the two of us,
That we would figure it
I
out.
think we could not only figure it out, but I think we could successfully do it.
Okay. Are you opposed to, instead of robbing the person?
Oh, I'm
Just
sorry.
because-
We're not robbing. We're burglaring.
Burglary.
There's a difference. Robbing means you're forcibly taking something. We're burglaring. We're taking it and not hurting anyone.
Okay. Do you think instead of burglaring, because all we really want to do is prove that we can.
Yeah.
Much like that white collar episode, instead of taking something to the safe, we just put something in the safe. Then we leave.
That would be fun.
No harm, no foul.
That would be fun.
But it's just about that we could
Just to
have
prove
done
something
it.
we could.
Right?
That would be fun.
Our calling cards there, whatever you want to put in there.
Yeah. No, that would be fun.
A poem. You write a poem for the person. Try to get something good for the day.
What other? I feel like there's a lot of heists that we could pull off. You know what I mean? Like small cons. I definitely think we got that all day long. We could do that.
Yeah. The only thing that's stopping us is they're just wrong to do.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, all that white collar we watched, man, it definitely makes you like you have a point if you binge watch that where you're like, I want to do a heist.
I want to do a heist. Yeah, I want to go steal a painting out of a museum or some shit. 100%. You think we could steal a painting out of a museum?
Bro, we could hit the art museum right now.
I love it. Fucking go. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, man.
You imagine if
that's the kind of confidence that
this
best
night
friendship encourages.
You imagine
Right
if
now,
this night
let's ride.
somebody robs it and then this podcast goes out, we end up being number one suspects.
Suspect number one. Damn, that would suck.
Have you seen that Key and Peele where it's like the guy's the rapper and he's like his rap song is him murdering the guy and he's like explaining how he does it. He's like, you're literally saying with the song. He's like, that's art, bro.
Sorry, bro. Fun fact: there is a rapper that actually happened to. His song was about how he murdered this dude. And he went to jail for it.
He went to jail for it?
Yeah, they were like,
he actually murdered it?
Yeah, he actually.
I mean, that was a dumb thing for him to do.
The song is called "Murder on My Mind."
he really wasn't hiding it. Did he make a lot of money off the song?
Yeah, he probably did. People like that song.
Did he get out of jail in a reasonable amount of time, or he didn't get to
think
enjoy?
so.
He got 25 to life.
I think it's something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
wasn't
crazy,
worth it.
right?
Wasn't worth
Wasn't worth it. Definitely wasn't worth it. Yeah. Will we expand our crew, though? What's the max of our crew? I think more than 4 people in a crew is too many.
Well, who's the 2 more people?
I have no idea. I don't know who we would recruit.
Do you think we do
I
like
also don't even know if it would be that interesting to talk about here because people wouldn't know who we're talking about. But
I agree. The only pitch I'll give is maybe we'll make it a double date. We just bring our... Yeah.
Talia would suck at it. She's the worst. She's a bad liar.
She's trying to sneak
She gets
in.
so nervous.
She's got a
Oh my
bag
goodness.
of
She
like
get us
typical...
So quick, bro. So quick. It would be over before.
We're trying to be
started.
quiet. Her shoes are squeaking.
You know what's funny? I guess I'm putting it out today. Just today, she was supposed to steal something, and she couldn't do it. And I'm just like,
What do you mean she's supposed to steal something?
not supposed to. She took our dog to bathe him, right? She took Yami to bathe him. So like we don't bathe them like in our own tub because it's just too much.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people still don't know this, but like you don't like when you go to the pet store, like obviously you can pay them to bathe your dog, but you can also just pay a smaller fee and just use their facility to bathe your dog yourself.
Right.
So that's what we do. You go to Pet Supplies Plus right down the street, and they got a whole section for like
Yeah.
self dog wash, right? So we do that, right? And they have a ton of towels, and she finished them off, and the blow dryer, his coat's really thick, so we really need that blow dryer. And it wasn't like working well today. It was like blowing cold air, and it wasn't very strong.
You want her to take a towel?
So he was there, like soaking wet, and she's like, I don't want to put him in the car like this soaking wet. Is there another towel in the car? And I'm like, no, I took the towel out of the car so I could wash it because it was dirty. And I'm like, just
take
one
this
of their
towel?
Yeah, like they got a million of them. Like they just cycle, just put one in the bag. Like it's fine. And she's like, I tried to, but I couldn't. I'm like, oh my goodness. She's like, there's people, they're everywhere, Nick. There's people everywhere. I'm like, if you don't slide one of them goddamn towels. She's like, I'm just going to buy this one that's on sale.
She could have brought it
What
back.
are you saying to me? You're going to buy one that's on sale? There's a bunch of them right there. So, yeah.
I mean, she's an honest person. That's
Yeah,
good.
that's fair. I mean,
I don't think I would have taken the towel either, to be honest with you.
yeah. I wouldn't have.
Yeah,
I would have
son
bought
of
the
a
towel,
bitch.
but I just thought it was ridiculous because I'm like, well, I know if I ever need to steal something, if I'm ever going on a heist, you're not the person I'm calling.
Do you think you could fake a dine and dash and get her to run out the door?
No.
No?
No.
You'd be like, go,
I
run.
think
And low key, you have the money on the table.
I think out of
It's one of my favorite
sheer-
scenes in Bones. I don't know if you ever watched that show, but that's what he
No.
does.
That's hilarious.
So he's like, run, and he's like got all the money on the table. So it's just running out for no reason.
I think out of sheer panic and embarrassment, she would just freeze. She'd just be like, no, I can't. And I'd just be like, oh my goodness, well, now we're called. Now I gotta go wash some dishes. You know what I mean? Because you couldn't get the fuck up and get us out of here. So yeah, man. But you and I, bro,
Yeah,
we can pull off anything, bro. I really think we could do it.
I agree.
It's the test of a true friendship. If you don't feel like you can pull off a heist with your friend, are they really your friend?
Because you need that, like, you know where I'm going mentality.
100%. Yeah. You need to be able to kind of predict each other's movements and
Yep.
what they're going to do next. Because shit's going to go awry. You know what I mean? Nothing's going to go perfectly
No.
planned. But also, you need someone who you can perfectly plan something with.
Yes.
Knowing that it's not going to go perfectly planned, but you can still, like, put together a perfect plan. Because that's the first step. Just putting the plan together. Just you and I sitting down and being like, okay, how are we going to do this? And
Do you
being
think
able
we
to
could
agree
wing
on
it?
all the steps. I think it depends on how intense the mission is. I do think there are some
I
things
think we
that
got a
can
good
wing.
threshold of winging shit.
We do have, yeah, we do. That's how we get through most of life, is swinging shit.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I do think we could. I do think there's a lot of things we could figure out. But if we were going after something big, we need a plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the elevator thing you were talking about, oh, we got 100%.
We can just do that tomorrow.
We can do that. Yeah, we can go do that right now. I think, yeah.
It'd be a fun game. And I mean, like, you know, because it's not hurting. It's slightly inconveniencing people. They got to wait for the next elevator.
Yeah, but you're not.
But if you can make it down, like, imagine making it down fucking, I don't know how many floors the Sears Tower is, but like, what a thrill if you could successfully get all the way to the we would be there rooting. Another one. Yeah. Doors open. Get ready.
We're doing Get Help next.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, that would be good. I'm trying to think. Because I threw on White Collar too just the other day, just as like a background show, because I was like doing some work. So I was like, I just needed some background noise, and I didn't want to put on anything that like I'm actually trying to watch. So I threw that on, and like, yeah, just some of the small stuff he does. Like one episode, he just tries to get past, just like the security guard of like a building of just, you need a key card to scan in, and there's just a dude standing there. So he walks in with his hands full
of coffee
and stuff. Yeah. And he listened, and he heard people say this guy's name. So he just confidently walks up, says his name, like, "Hey, Phil, what's going on?" And he just kind of responds like, "I don't know if I've seen your face before, but like, you clearly know me. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I guess you've been here before." And he's like, "My card is in my pocket. You want to just grab that? Grab that for me?" He's like, kind of like points his butt at him, like, "You want to grab that for me?" He's like, "No, I'm good. Go ahead. I feel like we can pull something off like that tomorrow.
Yeah. It's just about confidence at that point.
It is, yeah. But not everybody has that confidence, though.
True.
I think a big part.
I mean, the rest of that scene, he goes up, and then he's like the new guy buys the coffee, right? And he's like talking to people.
Yeah, he convinced everybody in the room that he was the new sports anchor. And that the sports anchor who was actually there was getting fired. It's ridiculous. 100% do that. Seems like fun, too. Yeah, man. So that was my question. I don't know if I don't have a good transition.
No transition? Do you have any of the banter questions?
Do I have any more?
Yeah.
Nah, that was it. That was all I had.
Okay. Yeah. I kind of liked your question before. I think you should ask me about it.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I could ask you that. Would you rather? Would you rather be a young wizard going into Hogwarts or a young mutant going to Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters?
Okay, now this is my question.
Okay, shoot.
If I choose mutant, do I know what power I have?
No.
So it's a gamble.
Because you know more about Harry Potter than I do. But if you're a wizard, do you know what your like specialty? Like, do they have specialty?
You gotta think. No, you gotta think of Hogwarts more like regular ass school.
Okay.
So while you could be, you're learning it all, but while you might be better at English and I might be better at math, we're still taking English and math.
The same courses. Okay.
So they much like even like high school, like if you get a little bit more of a focus, right? Some people wanted to do computers, they took the computer class in high school, right? So you could not take some classes, take other, but everything's open to you, and you don't like just your natural talents will choose, but like essentially you get the basics of everything.
Okay. Let me add a little more specificity to this question. Would you rather be an average grade wizard at Hogwarts or a basic level mutant at Professor Xavier's School? So you're not Omega level.
Not Omega level.
You're not Omega level.
Do I have a disformity? Do I got a tail?
No. Okay. You still like
still me, but a basic power.
Basic power.
Or I could be a wizard.
Or you could be a wizard.
I'm probably choosing a wizard.
All right, that's fair. But you're a basic wizard. You're not Harry Potter level wizard.
But I can learn to be better. Maybe in my later years, I get a little bit more, you know what, I really want to get in a transfiguration, and I could pick up books and learn that shit. You're basically as good as how interested you are.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
I can't do shit as, like, if I, what, man, I got fucking bat wings. Or I'm a half centaur, call back to our other episode, right? Like what it is the mutant. Plus, this man is going to make me go. He's going to take me in, but then he's going to make me go fight his battles for him.
That's true.
If I'm just an average ass student,
You said, I'm
A
not going
Hogwarts?
to war. I'm just
No, I'm not fighting for it. I don't have to, like, you just go to school.
yeah.
There's a war later, and you get the option if you want to go fight. I don't got a man telling me I gotta go do it.
That's fair. All right,
I'm
man.
not there like, hey, listen, Professor X-Men, my bat wing's a little sore. I can't do I got no super strength. I can't pick Cyclops up and fly him away.
That's yeah. Okay. Cyclops isn't an Omega 11 mutant, right?
No. So you could give the.
Yeah. So it's like you have a power like Cyclops, right? Like it's cool. It's versatile.
Do you know what's goofy? But the things that must sound lame. But the things that excite me about being a wizard.
What's that?
No more housework. And that's like
Okay.
the tipping point of like I can just wave my fucking wand and all these basic bitch tasks
Are just
that
done.
I don't want to do are
mean,
being done for me.
I get that.
And then I go, man, I fell off the ladder. I broke my leg. Don't worry, I'm gonna drink this shit right here. Healed.
Okay.
The little.
Just the little things. Okay.
I gotta get to your house in a minute. Pop, I'm there.
Okay.
Even because even the mid tier can do all this shit.
Okay.
There's
Yeah,
way
that
more
makes sense.
involved.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that. I mean, I don't know as much about Harry Potter, so that's why, like, I wasn't asking myself this question really. But what I will say is what I enjoy about because here's the thing when you talk about the mutants, right? I feel like everybody's mindset is always like, well, you don't know what your mutant ability is going to be, and what if you end up with a shit ability?
Because a lot of the X-Men characters have kind of shit abilities.
They do have kind of shit abilities. I mean, realistically, Wolverine has a shit ability. Like, he has a fantastic healing factor, but kind of everything else about his power is kind of crap, right?
He just smells people out.
But what I do like about the X-Men is that even if you have a basic power, you can learn to utilize it in multiple ways, in creative ways, in ways you may not have thought before, that will then give you new skills, right? Like Cyclops using, because again, everybody thinks that he has like laser eyes. It's not like a laser beam; it's a concussive blast. So it's essentially like
Pushing
him
you
throwing
really
a
hard.
punch
Yeah.
from his eyes, right? So him using that shit to like land after falling out of an airplane, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's not something you immediately think about when you get that mutant ability. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
you're not thinking about that. You're just thinking like, oh shit, like I just shoot stuff from my eyes. This is okay, whatever.
Let me change your question because
Okay.
you're not enough into Hogwarts to.
All right, hit me.
Would you rather join Professor X and then X-Men, or become a dragon rider in Fourth Wing? You don't know what your signet's gonna be.
That's true. You don't know what your signal's gonna be.
You
I thought
don't know
about
what
bringing
your
that
power
up,
is.
but I just figured not as many people would know about that. But yeah, I mean, if we're gonna
We've
talk
talked about it a half a dozen times on this podcast.
yeah.
Well, I read all three. You're going through book 2. Basic idea: if you become a dragon rider, not only do you get like partnered up with the dragon, but you get like a power that's like particular to you. So it's very similar to having X-Men power.
Yeah.
And the powers that we see is there's like the main character. I guess spoilers though.
That's fine. She's a lightning wielder.
Lightning wielder.
I mean, I guess you didn't have to say it was hers. But somebody's a lightning wielder. We have somebody who can manipulate shadows. We have somebody who can summon objects to them. We have somebody who can wield ice. Somebody who can bend metal. Somebody who can control storms.
Mend things.
Who can mend things. People who can read minds, read memories. Yeah.
And then
So-
you get basic level magic, and all you ever see people do is open and lock doors
Yeah, turn on create
without their
lights and
hands,
shit, yeah.
right? Yeah.
But you could also end up with shit that's stupid, like Farsight, where you can just see really far.
Yeah.
It's a lame ass ability. I'd be so annoyed. What the fuck do you mean? I just see far. Like, why? Like, I have built-in binoculars. Why? We make actual binoculars. Why the fuck do I need this? Stupid. But listen though.
I had such a hard time because I don't know where you are, not listing things that are coming up as signets.
Okay, yeah, just leave it at
So
that.
I didn't
That's
spoil anything. That's why I was like glad you listed, because I was about to list some shit.
good. Give me a goddamn dragon any day.
You rather take the dragon
week, bro.
with the power, even if it could be
me
Farsight.
a
You're
goddamn dragon.
all right.
If I could live
I think I'm choosing the same. I'm also choosing because it's a power and a dragon.
and a dragon,
Yeah.
give me the goddamn dragon. It could be any dragon. Give me
You
the
would be,
dragon.
but you would be somewhere. So for our listeners too, your dragon's always in your head,
I'm fine with
so it hears what you're thinking and talking to you basically 24/7.
it. Yeah. Nah, I'm fine.
That doesn't bother you at all.
Nah, I'm good.
All right.
All
Yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna
gonna
probably
to
choose-
myself is, I got a fucking dragon. This is cool as shit.
And
You
he's
know
in
what
your
I
head like, bro, shut up about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been years.
mean? Man, still cool, bro. It's still cool. I hop on your back, we go flying. Shit's crazy.
Even though, all right, which one do you think you have better chances surviving? Because both you're put in mortal danger almost consistently.
I think I have a better chance of surviving as a mutant
I think so too.
than as a dragon rider for sure.
Which is crazy.
For sure.
But it seems because even your classmates are trying to kill you if you're a dragon rider.
Yeah. No,
The people supposed to have your back might kill you.
that's true. The only time they can't legally kill you is in your sleep, and that don't even always stop them.
Yep.
So, no, I definitely. If we talking about safety, let me.
Did
be a
you
mutant.
consider that in your decision?
No, I just
I
considered.
considered the whole thing.
I just considered.
Does it change your answer?
No.
Okay.
I still want a dragon.
Right?
It's a goddamn dragon. You never turn down a dragon. It's a dragon. You know what I mean? Every time I listen to this book, I'm just like, fuck, I want a dragon. Shit. Closest thing we get is dogs.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing
Yeah.
we get to our dragon.
We should have talked about this in a How I Trained a Dragon episode, but go listen to that episode, guys.
We could have just referenced that. I mean, I guess they get to kind of choose their dragons. It's not quite as intense as as the book, but still.
And they don't get a power from it.
Yeah, that's true. But they still get to ride dragons,
They do.
which is fun.
But if you take the power away,
So I can either just
so you can
have
make it How I Trained Your
pet
Dragon.
dragon that I can ride,
Yes.
or be a mutant.
Be a mutant.
Give me my dragon.
I think it switches for me.
That really?
Give me the mutant power.
I want my dragon, bro.
You can no longer like communicate the same way anymore.
It's fine. Still want a dragon.
Right.
There's nothing you can. I won't say nothing. There's many things I would choose a dragon over. You know what I mean? Like, I'm choosing a dragon over a lot of different things. Give me the dragon. I want a dragon. How cool would it be to have a dragon? Fuck. All right.
Imagine trying to feed it all the time, though.
Yeah, that would suck. But I mean, it probably
Expensive.
feed itself. You know what I mean? Just go fly off, go pick you up a sheep or something. I don't know. I probably herd some cattle.
And then all of a sudden you're being sued by a sheep owner. This man's pet just came back.
Like, hey,
My whole livelihood is gone in minutes.
you want him to pick you up next time? All right, well, you're just go ahead and drop that lawsuit, big dog. You know what I mean? Speaking of things getting dropped, though,
It's a good transition.
I tried, man. I really dug for that one.
Yeah.
And I saw
That was a good one.
It was a narrow opportunity, and I saw it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take it. Fuck it. I'm gonna take that shot. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Sean. That's what they say. Wayne Gretzky or Michael Jordan. I don't know. One of them said it first, and the other one stole it.
I got no comment on that. Anyways.
Have you heard that quote before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what do you?
But I didn't know there was a debate on who said it.
I don't know if there is either, but I've seen it quoted by both people.
Okay.
But I don't know who said it first,
All right.
and I don't particularly care to find.
Yeah, I don't think I care either. We're talking canceled things. Things that
Canceled
have been
things,
dropped. We're going to go through a list of movies that were once planned and did not happen.
Yeah.
And they're officially off the books, no longer in the works.
Except for maybe one.
Maybe one.
That might still have a very, very, very slither small chance of a possibility of happening, but I doubt.
I think even the one you're talking about, I think it's not the one we're on the list.
Oh,
Because to read the plot, it's not that story.
oh, I got you. All right, cool. So yeah, you to your credit, you came up with this one.
Yeah. So there's, I'm going to do the honorable mention and the first one all in one go. So I was thinking about how we were very close to a Justice League trilogy. And that's why I came up with this. We had the Justice League movie, then we had the Snyder cut of it.
That 4-hour fucking thing.
Originally was supposed to be 2 more movies afterwards. They were going to do a full trilogy. I talked about what that plot was on another episode, so I'm not going to dive into it again. But that was the one that gave me the idea for this episode. So we got a list. There's a huge list. We could probably do a couple episodes on this. We're just going to do a handful of them. First one on the list, and I don't think we're going to have to say a whole lot because this one's not surprising, but it is no longer happening. Avengers, the Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
So, we got a lot of build-up.
We did.
And poor choices by an actor doing some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And instead of recasting, Marvel said, we're going to pivot away.
True.
So we're not getting that movie anymore. Are you sad about it?
Yes.
Would you been okay if they just recasted?
Yes.
Said it was a different variant?
Yeah.
Why do you think they didn't?
I don't know.
I have a theory.
Okay.
I think what they have done so far with Kang, people did not give a fuck about.
I agree. You know what? Now that you're saying it, yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I think they just looked at it as a way of
this
you know
isn't
what?
catching on at all.
This isn't working anyway, so why don't we just scrap all of it? Yeah.
I think the most exciting thing about it being Kang before is that we called it like season 1 of this podcast. We said, who will be the next big MCU
We definitely
bad?
called it.
And we both said Kang, and we were right. And we would have been right.
Yeah. That's true.
Wow.
Hey, if you're a true fan, go back and listen to that episode. It was a good episode.
That was a good episode.
Yeah.
Very early on.
Yeah,
That was
it was like,
that was pre-studio in your mom's basement.
Correct. We talked
those
about
were one of the first.
most disappointing Marvel villains and who we thought the next big bad was going to be.
And we had
Who
we had a
we wanted
guest.
to be. Yeah.
Derek?
We had Derek on there. Yep.
Derek. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's good stuff, though.
I can't remember. Did Derek come back for our revisit
did.
the guest?
Yeah.
So we had Derek twice.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
We only had like 2 guests not come, or maybe just one.
I think it was just
2.
the one.
It's 2 guests that didn't come back for our 100th episode celebration.
G.I. Joe took a hiatus. That's what it was, right? He was one of them. Because
Yeah.
he was like, we couldn't contact him because he stopped social media for a while.
Yeah.
And Maggie,
Pretty sure.
which is Comic Kick.
Super vegan
Super
cake.
vegan kick.
Something like that.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Next on we list, we got Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, so the Sam Raimi trilogy. So the original Tobey Maguire 1, 2, and 3. There was supposed to be
A fourth.
one, but it did not happen. I guess. Well, not I guess. So the rumor is that they had Sony was fully committed to it. They had already basically set a date. So Spider-Man 3 came out in 2008. They had already set May 2011 release date for Spider-Man 4, which is what? Is that 3 years? If my math is right. That's 3 years. 3 years later. But obviously Spider-Man 3 didn't do very well. It wasn't received very well.
It's not great.
People did not like it. And I think which got to Sam Raimi. And he was just like, damn, this sucks. So he wanted
I always kind of remember, it's interesting because you read that for this episode, but up to this point, I always thought he wanted another chance to redeem himself.
He did. That's what I was going to say. He wanted another chance to redeem himself, but I think he felt like he couldn't get it done in the time frame that they set for him. It just wasn't, shit just wasn't coming together. He had some ideas for a script.
I'm going to say what this plot thing says it was going to be. I don't
Yeah.
know if this is true. This is super ridiculous if it is. The storyline for Spider-Man 4 was going to take place 5 years after the event of Spider-Man 3. Peter Parker was going to leave Mary Jane insane
Crazy.
and enter a relationship with Felicia Hardy, who is Black Cat. However, they're going to be brought to a conflict.
Rumored to be played by Anne Hathaway.
So she's going to play
Two
both
cats.
Marvel DC cat characters.
Yeah.
Peter was going to kill Felicia's father, who was going to be the Vulture. The script was going to end with Peter losing his powers, discouraged with the suit in the alleyway in a stormy night, ending the franchise on a sour note. I don't feel like this is true.
Sounds terrible.
If that is what he was planning, it's a good thing he didn't do it.
True. I mean, yeah, the consistent rumor seems to be that the Vulture was definitely supposed to be the big bad of this one. Felicia Hardy was going to be in it as Black Cat. Those are like the two big things that like it seems like were almost basically confirmed. I think Mysterio was supposed to make an appearance in this one as well, but he wasn't going to play like a big role. He was supposed to come in and like Peter has already called him or whatever. But I hadn't heard about him leaving Mary Jane. That sounds ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a crazy love story they would have had if that's where it went.
I mean, there is many times in the comic books where Peter like dates Black Cat, but
that didn't make sense for this universe.
no, it didn't. Not at all.
Yeah.
I agree.
Right.
Seems stupid.
So you're disappointed?
that
Do you
didn't
wish we would have got it, or you don't care?
happen. I don't care.
Okay.
I know a lot of people do. A lot of people are very curious as to what he may have done with that fourth movie. I am not.
I would have, young Sean would have really wanted it.
Yeah, I can see that. I also think, too, because people forget that Spider-Man 3 and the first Iron Man came out in the same year.
Yeah, we just pivoted completely.
Yeah, so I think that's also a part of it, because they probably were like, this Iron Man movie has been better received than a Spider-Man movie? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because contrary to what a lot of people think now, because of the Iron Man is only as popular as he is because of the movies. Before the movies, Iron Man was a B tier character at Marvel at best. You know what I mean? Like, he was not super popular. So it's the movies that skyrocketed his popularity. So to think that an Iron Man movie was better received than a Spider-Man movie, one of, if not the most popular comic book character in the world, I could imagine they'd be like, well, what the fuck is happening?
We fucked up somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere we did. So, you know, Sony being Sony.
Which one movie made more money?
I would imagine Spider-Man 3. Probably by a large margin. Yeah.
All right. Next on the list, you looked up about this one. We had Batman vs. Godzilla. That's
I just thought this was fun.
Insane that this was considered.
Crazy. Especially in like today's comic book world. Godzilla's super popular right now. He's like all the rage. They're doing so many Godzilla crossovers. We talked about before, they did a Godzilla versus Kong versus the Justice League. They're doing a part 2 of that now. Like there's the second one just started. So it's another Godzilla versus Kong versus Justice League.
Is it continued to the first?
Yeah.
All right.
So that's
just
happening.
like the fuck, they're back again.
Marvel has been doing a series of one-shots with Godzilla. They did Godzilla versus the Fantastic Four first, then Godzilla versus Hulk, Godzilla versus Spider-Man, Godzilla versus the X-Men. This week they released Godzilla versus the Avengers. And they're ending it with somebody, but I can't remember who.
Are they making Godzilla smaller in these comics?
In some cases, yes. In other cases, no.
Okay.
He's still like towering. He's still like as big as a skyscraper. But in some iterations, he's like towering over a skyscraper. I don't know. His size
changes
drastically. Like varies wildly depending on who's doing it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But yeah, Godzilla's like all the rage right now, man.
But to think back in, it was 1966.
So that's what I think is the craziest part about this is they were going to do this crossover with the 1960s Batman, Adam West, 1960s Batman, which seems ridiculous.
I can't imagine what that. I mean, I feel like they would have just made Godzilla Batman sized.
And he just,
you know what I mean? And they just fought because what was Adam West gonna do?
So here's the rumor of what the plot was gonna be, right? So obviously Batman was gonna fight Godzilla with like numerous vehicles of his, the Batmobile, Batplane, Batboat, all that shit he was gonna use wasn't gonna work. The rumor was that Godzilla was going to fall in love with a woman, similar to like a King Kong story.
Right? Okay.
And Batman was going to use that to his advantage and create, you know, like 1960s Batman is so ridiculous. Think of like how he had shark repellent spray on his utility belt. He was going to make some sort of mating call device to attract Godzilla so that he could strap a bomb to him and blow him up, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Batman always finds a way.
Batman, listen. Give him prep time, he can figure anything out. So, even 1960s Batman.
All right, next on the list.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the craziest one on this list. Gambit.
Yeah, this is just
It was in production hell for like
forever.
15 years.
Yeah.
Something crazy.
Wait, you know what? Keep talking. Let me figure out when Channing Tatum was announced to play Gambit.
I'm pretty sure it was right around Wolverine Origins,
You're probably right.
which was the first of the Wolverine trilogy, which like has been over forever now. Yeah, man, this one is like
2014.
2014.
Yeah,
So 11 years.
2014, he was. Wait, hold on. Wait. Again. So no. I'm sorry. I think it was before that. I think it was 2009.
Yeah. And I feel like that maybe in like 2 years ago is when they gave up.
Until they didn't.
Until they didn't. And they put him in Deadpool.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Now he's coming back.
And he's coming back. But I still don't think he'll ever get his movie.
I don't think so either. I think it's just past. I don't think people... Who wants that? That's always been my thing with this. Who's asking for this movie?
I was about it in the beginning because Gambit's a really cool X-Men character.
Yeah, but are you about it now?
No, because Channing Tatum, like, is... I don't know. He's not... I think they would need to recast Gambit.
I agree, yeah.
He's just like... He's a little bit of an older guy now.
Yeah.
I think it was cool seeing him in Deadpool. I don't even need to see him in Avengers. He doesn't need to be in that movie. Nothing. That's not pulling. That's not like, oh man, I can't wait to. No, I don't care.
Yeah, I think they need a younger guy. I also think they need a bit of a leaner guy. I think Channing Tatum's just a little too big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just naturally kind of bulky. I just imagine Gambit is like just kind of
tall and lanky.
Honestly, it's going back to our is live action always better conversation. I don't think they're going to find a better version of Gambit than we got in X-Men 97.
Well, I mean, yeah, because they're drawn.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody lives up to their drawn animated version.
I mean, but even just like the acting, the character portrayal, like I don't think a live action version of Gambit would top that version of Gambit.
Okay.
I don't think making them live action makes it better. I think we just go with that Gambit.
Fair. I'm not going to argue with you. I get it.
So that's where I'm at with that.
But yeah, I think my point is if they were to end up doing it, I would want to recast. But I get that he's not the best for live action.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn versus Joker.
So this was Margot Robbie Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Right? I'm assuming
Jared Leto
Joker. Thank God they didn't make that. My goodness.
I feel like I would have known this was a consideration. Like I had no idea.
Really? I knew this
was being considered.
Yeah. Because if you think back to Birds of Prey, that was kind of like the whole thing, right? Like Harley's off on her own. Her and the Joker broke up. She's like, fuck him. I'm doing my own thing. So I think Birds of Prey was supposed to then go into that. That was supposed to be like her kind of trilogy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Maybe it was supposed to come before Birds of Prey. And then that was supposed to be the conclusion.
The aftermath. Because it starts, that starts with them breaking up.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was going to be the conclusion. And she gets a team. She gets a new family, whatever. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of where it was supposed to fall. One or the other. I don't know.
The plot I read, which I think is bullshit, says Harley kidnaps Dr. Phil to help deal with her relationship issues.
What would you want this movie to be? Like,
I don't want this movie.
I don't even care.
I don't want it. If we recasted the Joker, because we all know, I've talked about it, Jared Leto, I hate his Joker, right?
Yeah.
Like even if we had like a solid Joker, because it also couldn't be Heath Ledger. It'd have to be a different Joker. Mm-hmm. I I still would struggle to feel like if I wanted a movie where he's versing Harley Quinn.
So in my mind, right, if I'm writing this movie, if I'm pitching the idea for this movie, I feel like versus gives the impression that they're going to fight in some way, shape, or form, right? But
I think it's more of a relationship fight.
It's more of a relationship, and it's more of a psychological game. Like, if anything, this movie to me would be more of a psychological thriller than it would be an action movie, right?
But it wasn't going to be that with Margot Robbie, and Jared Leto.
No, I agree. It wouldn't be that with those two. But if I was going to make this movie, I would even do it like we run it parallel of like the past of how they got to that point, how she originally fell in love with him, how she was his therapist, she fell in love, blah, blah, blah. But how we see it from her point of view of like everything just seems like love and blissful and like happiness. But then we keep going back and forth between the past and the present. And the present is where she starts to pick up on his manipulative ways. And as she slowly realizes things back to the past of like, he's always been this way. This isn't new. He's been playing me since the very beginning. And now I got to try to get away. But he's still like, you can't go anywhere. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a good plot.
Should write movies.
Put it in a comic book.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Cool.
Last but not least, the Sinister Six.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, this one, what's funny about this is I don't think it's technically been confirmed that it's not being made.
So I think this is a Sinister Six before the Sinister Six we're talking about.
Okay, so
you're talking about. This one is talking about the reason this didn't happen is because of mixed reviews from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So it's not like this universe. Let me read what this plot is.
Okay.
They didn't know yet if it was going to be Harry Osborn or Sandman. But after facing Spider-Man, so Spider-Man was going to be in the movie.
I mean, good start.
Good start.
Sony.
That's why I don't think it's what they're working on now. He would be sent on a mission behind an alien meteorite in the Wild Island. I know that sentence didn't make sense. I promise you that's how it's written. Where he would face a creature in the greatest Suicide Squad style. Oscorp wanted to get its hands on the alien creature known as Venom. Spider-Man would disrupt the plans and be consumed by the symbiote, where he would brutally face off the Sinister Six. So the Sinister Six would be Suicide Squad style, going against a Venom Spider-Man.
Sounds stupid.
The Sinister Six would have been led by Dr. Octopus, who would betray the group and eventually would be on a 1v1 with Spider-Man.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, do you remember the end credit scene from The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Isn't that one with the Green Goblin? Or the Hobgoblin?
Yeah. And he was walking through, they had like the suits for all, like they had the Doc Ock arms. Right. They had the vulture wings. I believe they had the scorpion tail as well. So these were all just going to be like mech suit people, basically. Because remember, we got the mech suit Rhino. Right. So everybody was just going to be like that, I guess. Which, yeah, seems stupid.
Yeah.
Why just... I don't know, man. I'm so glad they gave that shit up. Just like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, I don't... I think what they were going for here seems a little stupid. I think if they had... Like, and everything they have going on with the Sony universe, it's just, like, clearly not working.
Yeah.
So don't do a Sinister Six there.
But it seems like...
I think if Tom Holland's universe got to a Sinister Six movie, that would be fine.
Yeah.
But they kind of already did it.
They did. In, No Way Home.
And No Way Home.
Yeah.
So it's not even really quite needed.
But if you're going to do it... Was it 6? No, it was Doc Ock, Sandman, Electro...
Green Goblin,
and Lizard, right?
It's the Sinister Five.
Yeah.
They should have just threw one more villain in.
They should have. The Fearsome Five.
Fearsome Five. Yeah. I think a Sinister Six, like if you slowly build up to it, works. Like you got to build up to it the way that we build up to an Avengers movie, but with Spider-Man in as the lead in all the movies, not...
Yeah. I don't even think it
fucking
needs to be
go
that slow. I think it could be done in a trilogy, honestly. I think it'd be done in 3 movies.
break down the 3 movies.
Movie 1, we start with... I think movie 1, you start with whoever is going to end up being the leader of the Sinister Six. So maybe we start with like a Doc Ock movie 1, right?
Okay.
Doc Ock's thwarted, gets locked up in a prison or whatever with a bunch of other criminals, but he's still a genius, right? I think movie 2 is where you introduce like a big, more like physically imposing or physically equal character to Spider-Man. Maybe like a Green Goblin, right? Maybe we get a Green Goblin movie 2. Because for me, the ones you can just throw in there are all like the mutated ones, right? Like you could throw a Rhino. Like Rhino doesn't need a full backstory. I don't think Lizard needs a full backstory. I think Lizard's backstory can be told in the background of the other 2 movies. I don't think Scorpion needs a backstory. Like just the backstory could be Doc Ock gave him some extra tech, right? He just took one of the arms and just made it a goddamn tail. Like, here you go. You know what I mean? And then, like, Electro could be who we thought was going to be the main villain of the 3rd movie, but then it turns out he ends up joining the team, and then boom, we got the Sinister Six.
All right.
That wasn't perfect, but I think it could be done.
I get the trilogy breakdown. I don't know. I want more. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of throwing multiple villains into a movie unless it's like straight up we're doing the Sinister Six, right? Mm-hmm. So like, but I like your idea of like you could put Doc Connors in the first 2 movies and you see how it's slowly going to get to that point. A little I think is nice with Rhino and Scorpion. I get that they don't need their own movies.
No, fuck no.
But a little thumb. I don't want him just popping up. What the fuck's this guy? Like,
I don't know. I'd be fine with him popping up.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't care.
My.
Like, what's Rhino's fucking origin story anyway?
I know he has one. And somebody could write a great one.
Yeah. Or we could just do something real simple and basic.
Listen. Miss Dr. Freeze.
Miss Dr. Freeze. What did you just say?
I was going, is it Mr. Freeze or Dr. Freeze? And I blinked for a second.
Oh, it's like Miss Dr. Freeze. What are you saying to me?
Had a terrible origin story until it was rewritten. Now it's one of the best.
That's true.
We can do something with Rhino.
Rhino's not that interesting of a character to begin with.
Neither was Freeze.
Enough. Yeah, but they could, I don't know. Like a character that's like half Rhino or whatever. Like, how interesting can that be?
How did he get that way?
I don't know. Magic.
Maybe he got that way. It's not magic.
I don't
know what it is.
I'm pretty sure it's magic.
It's magic? I need you to Google this.
I mean, I'm not going to Google it. Let me see.
Original origin to Rhino.
You know what? No, because we're going to save it for our episode that we just talked about we're going to be doing.
This is true. This is very true.
We're going to come back to that. So put a pin in it.
I know, because Scorpion's
origin story. Come back for
Scorpion's a suit, and I thought Rhino was always a suit, too.
No, I don't think so.
They change it for the fucking Craven movie.
I don't think it's always a suit. I think it's him. I think it's the skin. Some kind of magic.
Some magic.
I don't know.
Turned him into a rhino.
Yeah, half rhino.
Half rhino man
with a face, the human face.
Okay.
Instead of where the rhino's mouth should be, human face. Seems so ridiculous.
I feel like you're really hating on Rhino.
I don't know. He's fine. He just serves as a muscle character.
Yeah.
Spider-Man just needs somebody he can punch with everything he's got. And that's the Rhino.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? And not kill him.
I'm saying you can make any character interesting.
We forgot about the Vulture. Throw the Vulture in there.
You can throw Mysterio in there too.
That's true. You see, and that's what I mean. You could go with all like human characters, right? So it could be Doc Ock, Mysterio, Vulture. Who else did I say? Green Goblin, Scorpion, and either Lizard or Electro.
All right.
You don't have to go with like the mutant ones, like Rhino.
Do you want to see another Venom in this movie? See Spider-Man get the Venom suit first? Get a little more classic origin?
Yeah, I think that would be cool. I think it'd be cool to just see like an all-out like Spider-Man versus Venom movie. You know what I mean? Like just like a straight up, like this is just gonna be a dirty brawl, like just down dirty brutal brawl between Spider-Man and Venom. I think that would be fun.
All right.
But other than that, no, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Venom fan though. You know what I mean? Like he's fine, he's cool, but I don't really care that much for him. Fun fact: in the comic books, do you know who the current Venom is?
Current Venom in comics. No. Flash Thompson was for a while, right?
It's Mary Jane.
Mary Jane's the current Venom.
Correct.
Still married?
Yeah. Mary Jane is the current. She's not evil, but she does have the symbiote. Eddie Brock is now Carnage.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just know this was a big deal and it happened.
Okay.
It's got all new Venom. Everybody thought it was going to be Luke Cage. Turns out it was Mary Jane.
Why do people think it was going to be Luke Cage?
Because he was like a big part of the story, and also the new Venom suit is black and gold. So it's like, oh, that makes sense to be Luke Cage. It's Mary Jane Watson.
I don't know if I like it. I think Luke Cage sounds fun.
He does sound fun. Sounds cooler, right?
He's a little bit stronger, a little bit more indestructible as well.
Should you imagine Luke Cage in a Venom suit? He'd be enormous.
Yeah.
Fucking huge.
All right.
So yeah, man. How much time we got?
We're an hour, 56 minutes.
56 minutes? All right, let me tell you about these comic books real quick. Got a couple comic call-outs for you,
Comic
sir.
call-outs. Hit me.
So I read two. Both of them indie. I'm just preference was that. Both indie. Both one issues in. So first issues. So I'm talking about them. But I read them recently. One of which is Battle Beast. You should read Battle Beast.
Yeah?
So if you've watched Invincible, remember Battle Beast from Invincible? The giant lion
head guy.
White lion guy who beat the shit out of Mark? That's Battle Beast. He has his own comic now, written by the original creator of Invincible. So Robert Kirkman, who wrote Invincible, he's also doing Battle Beast stories. This is the first time he's done like a spinoff from Invincible, I think in like 9 years or some shit, 10 years. It's good though. I didn't think I would like it because it was cool to see him in the show and just to see him kind of like beat up Mark.
But he didn't seem like a super
interesting character. It was just kind of like, okay, cool. But no, I like him. So his origins, this gives his origin story. And it's fun because he's, the beginning of the comic takes place right after he beats up Mark and everybody else. And he goes through this portal and he finds himself on this ship and he's talking to this alien race and he's like, you guys sent me there saying that people on Earth could challenge me and they weren't shit. Like, you disappoint me. Turns out all these aliens that he's talking to are already dead because he murdered all of them too. But they had, right before he killed them, they sent them to Earth saying that was the place to find his next opponent, and turns out they weren't worth it either, right? So then he's on this ship and the AI of the ship starts talking and he's like, who's talking to me? What's happening? I thought I killed everybody on this ship. And he's like, well, I'm the AI of this ship and my original function was to protect the aliens of this ship, but they're all dead now. And so while you were here before, I was being quiet just in case like I was able to surprise you or get the upper hand on you, but they're all gone. So like I have no reason to be quiet anymore, so now I'm going to talk. And he's like, okay, well shut up because I don't want to hear you, right? So he's on the ship and then he picks up one of the people and he starts eating them. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, your voice is irritating. I don't want to hear it. So then like 4 days later, the ship is like, I found a new voice. I'm going to start talking again. And so Battle Beast is like, well, I've been in silence for like 4 days. I haven't even spoken in 4 days. So yeah, that's cool. This is a welcome change, even though I don't necessarily love this. But yeah, it's a welcome change to talk to you. And so basically the AI is like, what's your deal, bro? Like, why are you just flying around killing people? And so Battle Beast gives his backstory. And basically what happened was he came from a warring world, right? So other species of the same as him, they were at war. They were all fighting, and it turns out that he just had like an affinity for violence and rage. And once he started fighting, he started winning. And he kept winning and he kept winning. He got to a point where he basically ended this war. Like he stopped all violence through violence, but he stopped all violence on this planet and created like a utopia, basically. But in doing so, he realized that the same thing, that rage that was fueling him during the warring time was still inside of him, and he couldn't seem to satiate it. Like it just wouldn't go away. He kept feeling it, even though he had created this perfect world. He couldn't seem to get rid of this rage and anger. So he left the planet. He's like, I need to leave this place before I destroy everything I just built and saved. So I'm gonna leave, and that's why he's on this quest to find an opponent who can not only challenge him but ultimately kill him and release him from this curse of like rage, this constant rage he feels.
Okay.
So that's his origin story.
All right.
So then he tells it to the ship, and the ship is like, my original function, I was created to protect life forms. So in doing so, I basically can't bring myself to lie to you in order to bring harm to you. But since you killed my original makers, the truth is, I want you dead. And Battle Beast is like, well, bro, we on the same page. So the ship's like, I got a database full of people that I could look up to find you somebody who might be able to kill you. But honestly, I want you to die. So I'm going to find you somebody. And Battle Beast is like, let's go. Like, you ain't saying nothing but a word. Like, you keep talking this talk. Bring me somebody. So, yeah. So, I guess this comic. And then in the first issue, we see him meet up with this alien who's been sealed on this planet for, like, hundreds of years. And Battle Beast goes. And it's funny because he shows up. And the alien's like, oh, my God. Like, I haven't seen anybody in hundreds of years. Like, this is crazy. And he's like, he tries to, like, finesse Battle Beast to, like, breaking him out. And Battle Beast just looks at him, and he's just like, he breaks him out, and he's like, oh, you're an idiot. And Battle Beast is like, let's go. Like, he literally jumps up on this alien and grabs him by the collar, and he's like, I want to fight. Let's fucking go. And headbutts him. this alien's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, it's on there. And he ends up killing that one, too. He's like, oh, you're nothing. So yeah, and that was like the end of issue 1. So we're gonna see where it goes. But it was fun, man. I really enjoyed it.
Do you think it's gonna lead back to him being captured on that ship?
Probably, yeah. I'm sure it's gonna go back to that. Yeah. I enjoyed issue 1. I didn't think I would like it that much. I got it because of like what they were, all the promo stuff they were doing with like issue 1. That's why I ended up picking it up, because I just thought it'd be cool to have in my collection. But after reading it, I was like, no, this is actually really good. And also the art is fantastic. I love the art in this. It's just, it's like they really nail, like, every page is like so bloody and like gory, but like it's still like crisp, like clean art, but still feels like gritty and like hard hitting. It's great. It's great. I think you should read it. I think you'd enjoy it. Issue 2 came out this week, so I haven't read issue 2 yet. I read issue 1 because I was like, am I going to continue to collect this? Let me read issue 1 to see if I want to. And I read issue 1. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. So I think I'm going to keep up with the series. I don't know how long they're supposed to go for. I don't know if it's a limited series or an ongoing series, but we'll see. But it's good, man. It's good. It's good stuff.
Right. You got one more?
I do. So there was another comic book that I read, also indie, Image Comics. It's called Exquisite Corpses.
Exquisite Corpses.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
Okay.
So basically, the premise of this comic book is the people who run America are it's 12 families who run America. Like some shit we hear all the time, right? Like some conspiracy shit. Like, it's not the government, it's not the president.
Right.
It's the rich families who have been rich since the start of the country, who have just passed down this wealth and power. It's like the 12 richest families in the country, and those are the ones who really make the decisions behind the scenes. But amongst these 12 families, they're also like, well, we got to have a leader of the 12, right? We can't just all function on our own. We need a leader of the 12. And the way that they decided to find this leader is that every 5 years they host a competition. And the competition dates back to like their original I guess, decision of how they were going to decide who was in power. So each family draws a card, and the card has a weapon on it, right? So the weapons consist of, some of them are lame, some of them are cool. There's a rope, a knife, a sword, an axe, a hammer, a gun, bare hands, poison, explosives. I'm missing 2. Electricity. What am I missing? Bow and arrow. And
Like you got one more. You said 12 families.
yeah, it's 12. It's 12. A bow and arrow. And what's the last one? It is, I said axe. I said hammer. Fire. I think it's just fire.
Fire.
Yeah. So they each draw a card randomly. And this card represents the weapon that they need to utilize for this competition. And this competition is basically, they find a small rural town somewhere in America that's not very densely populated, that like, basically this town is so small that like if it was to cease to exist, nobody would even really notice. But they find this small town, and they take the weapon that they've been given, and they find some sort of killer or assassin to utilize this weapon in basically a free-for-all murder competition.
To see who can murder the most?
To see, they have to murder the other assassins that the
other
families have chosen. And the
when you
last
said it
one
was going to go to
standing-
rural town, I was like, are they going to murder all the townspeople?
So here's the thing. The townspeople don't know that this is happening. They don't evacuate the town. And a lot of times, the killers that they choose, some of them are like trained assassins, right? Like one woman did hire an actual trained assassin. The one who had the sword, she hires like an assassin. The one who has the gun, she hired like a military person, right? So some of them are like just trained killers, but some of them are like psychopaths, like serial killers. Like the person who had the bare hands, they literally broke a serial killer out of prison who had murdered like 12 people in a bunny mascot costume with his bare hands to be their representative in this fight to the death competition. So inevitably, innocent people will die because they essentially are free to do whatever they want. You just have to kill the other participants. But if you kill other people in the process, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you read issue 1 of this.
Yeah, issue 1. It was so the cool thing about issue 1 is that it was a triple-sized issue. So most comic books are either 24 to 32 pages. This one was 68 pages.
It's a good start.
Yeah. So it's a beefy book. You get all this information I just gave you all in issue 1. We get to see each killer that each family has chosen. We get to see each of the 12 families. And then, whoever wins this competition then runs this society for the next 5 years. This year, they're hosting a competition on Halloween. We see that the small town that they chose, they paid the sheriff off. They gave the sheriff of the town $10 million, a new car, and a new identity to just leave.
Crazy.
And he took it. And then once he left, they like set up a bunch of drones. They like cut all the telephone lines so nobody can communicate outside the town. Like they set up a bunch of cameras around so that these people are basically sitting at a dinner in this room, this viewing room, and they're seeing all this shit unfold just on TV screens.
It sounds like a horror psychological thriller kind of movie.
Yeah, yeah. So the guy who wrote this is known for writing horror books, actually. Is it James Tynion? I think it is. So it makes sense that he was the one who's doing it. Let me make sure. Let me double check if I'm right about this, because I'm pretty sure James Tynion. Yeah. So it's the same dude who wrote Something Is Killing the Children.
Okay.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah. So he's writing this, and yeah, man. Listen, it's one of those things where it's like, and it sounds super dark, and I'm not going to say that it's not dark, but it also has that balance of just kind of being not fun, but very. It feels cartoonish in the sense of like you get introduced to each killer and they have like this cool kind of like cutaway scene of like. So let me just give you the 12 killers real quick. So the sword is the fox killer. It seems like she's just a killer who wears a fox mask. It seems like she's a trained assassin. The hammer is like this big, imagine like a strong man circus performer. He's huge. He's got a big old mallet and he just like bashes people, right? You got, I told you about the barehanded killer. He just wears a rabbit mascot costume and he's a psychopath and he murders people. The axe killer, also an ex serial killer. You got the more interesting ones is the electricity. They chose a gamer kid. So it's actually a kid who has like killed people with like technology. Like he has a drone that has a gun on it that he's just like gunning people down with. Like stuff like that.
Okay.
Like the killer who does the gun, he's an ex-military guy. They have a woman who does explosives. She's like blown up a bunch of buildings. Yeah, man. The poison. This one was also just weird. They chose a nurse, a male nurse, who's just like killed a bunch of patients by poisoning them. I was like, okay. Which I don't know how he's gonna.
I think that was like a real thing.
Work. I mean, probably.
It was like a documentary on this person that was doing that. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's fucked up. I don't know how he's going to, fare in these games, but he's there nonetheless. So yeah, man. I mean, it's fun if you're into kind of like
thriller
horror kind of stuff. It's reminiscent of kind of like a Hunger Games kind of vibe, you know what I mean? But with serial killers. Like if you're into that kind of stuff, you probably like this.
So cool.
Those are the two that are right,
call outs.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool. I think that's the show though.
That's the show. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for hacking through this one with us. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.